everyone, this is Archive of 12, and if I seem a little exasperated, it's because I just got done reacting to Divide Music's new Darth Vader soundtrack, and I am coming down off of that high. But now we are going to move on. We are reacting to JT Music's Elden Ring Shadow of the ERDTREE song, Bend Thy Knee, which I have been told has been one of like the most hotly anticipated tracks that I should be reacting to. So we're going to do it now. Link will be in the description below if you want to watch this without my commentary, because I will be pausing. I will be talking about it. And without further ado, let's get started.
Timeless sleep where I lie dreaming, shadows steeped in nightmare stir, tarnished weep with hearts ungleaming, bend thy knee or my wrath incur. Blighted sheep, the light deceives thee, darkness become thy shepherd. I'll keep my brother from beneath me, call upon an age to break my curse.
Okay, so I'm loving the overly dramatic emphasis that JT has coming into this. It fits the vibe of what JT loves doing with any kind of SoulBorne's type song, but this one in particular just feels especially like well cared for, I guess. It's difficult for me to like try and put into words exactly how I feel this went. It's specifically it reminds me of one of his previous I don't know if it was Elden Ring or Dark Souls or Bloodborne. I can't remember which song it was that he did that this reminds me of, but it has a similar vibe, but like turned up to 11 with how epic and foreboding, but yet at the same time JT songs are always still very playful. This feels like that. It's epic, it's dark, it's foreboding, it has a lot of like weight to it, and yet it still sounds very playful. And I think part of that's just because of the fact we're going to be getting into a very interesting rap here in a second. Yeah, no, I love this intro because it just feels very very welcoming in a, how do I say this? Very welcoming in a dark sense, I think is a really good way of saying it. So it makes me wonder exactly what they're going to be covering with this.
Was my blood I drew to water the roots of a sapling that has yet to grow as a saint to be sharp and putrid, forsaken its crucible I will remake as my own. Of kindness I myself divest, that I may strive this heart of flesh, once gilded with grace, but no will that was great did I find. Now my gold as a holy shine. All at a touch, cut off my fingers. I won't need a much, no force in my hand, cause I will not budge, so I'm forging a plan. The agony struck in the fires of my mother's vengeance. The void may tangle with light, but my might's an alloy.
Obviously, one of the things that I have to say is I am not very familiar with a lot of the lore from Elden Ring. I don't play SoulBorne's games. I don't have the time to try and get good. But from what I know of the SoulBorne's games, some of the stuff that that JT is throwing in here sounds very familiar. Like the lore that has been covered in other Elden Ring songs sounds very, very familiar to some of the stuff he's talking about in here. I like the various metaphors he's throwing in here, and I'm sure that, considering this is Elden Ring, some of those metaphors aren't actually metaphors. Some of those are actually just like clever wordplay on what actually has happened in the lore, such as, watering a sapling that has not yet sprouted its roots with your own blood. Like, that feels like something that probably happened in the story. There are certain references that I'm guessing the bosses that are appearing on screen are distinctly being, like, referred to. There are certain things that I feel like he's putting out there that I'm just not picking up because I don't know the context. But he's saying it in such a way that, at the same time, if there is context, I don't think you really need it. Like, obviously, it helps understand the line better. That's kind of important. But I genuinely feel like there's a certain aspect to this that just feels like naturally foreboding. And again, that goes hand in hand with the fact that this is a SoulsBorne game, and one of the things that JT Music is good at is making things sound very foreboding. I also feel like that again, it still has a little bit of a playful energy to it. So there's a lot of like small nuanced things going on here with this song that I'm sure that on second or third listen I'll pick up on. And maybe there'll be even more references to Elden Ring that I have learned about that I'll be able to pick up on. I don't know. It is very clever though. I really enjoy just the feeling of this, the way that the words are being placed together, the wordplay in general, and especially his tone just feels very, very good in a dark sense. It's I'm not going to say it's my favorite Elden Ring song that he's done, but I will say, or Bloodborne or SoulBorne in general song that he's done. But I will say it is one of the more interesting ones. Just a minute and 33 in. And at the same time, it still seems very familiar because this is something that he has done before in a similar manner. But every single time he does it, there's always something that's different. There's always something about the song that's different that makes it stand out on its own and makes it stand unique, despite the fact that it has a similar theme or a similar tone or a similar resonance. So I'm curious to see if he deviates. Maybe I could see this song remaining this like light and a little bit playful in an evil sense. I could see this getting ramped up really hard near the end, where he basically just starts putting some of that grit in, and the instrumental goes from just being very subtle to all of a sudden like being a rock orchestra before dying back down towards the end. I could see this going a couple different ways. So let's see what happens.
Broken, I'll fix with the hope you've been gifted, so you'll hold true to my vision, even if this halo's a prison.
I do know a little bit thanks to people explaining it. I someone like corrected me on the last one. I think her name is Melania. The one that has the scarlet rot. I can't remember what her name is. I remember what her name is. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I might even like be mispronouncing it now. But I know that like her brother, I believe, is supposed to be like a big factor in this, which is I think where this lyrics dictated here in this second minute of the song. Talking about like how they're twinless, how like they miss They miss her. I don't know if someone can explain to me some of the lore. I don't know whether or not like the Shadow of the Erdtree is indicative of the curse that is being spoken of over here. Talking about like, you know, bend thy knee and embrace my curse. Like, I don't know if that is if the Erdtree is because of Melania's brother. But if it is, that makes more sense to me in this song, in that context. It also makes sense talking about in the beginning about like watering that sapling. I was under the assumption that this was from the perspective of either like an outsider watching it, like a god or something like that, or from the perspective of the Tarnished. But now I'm thinking it's the perspective of the brother. So if that's the case, a lot of the context in this song now has suddenly been made clear to me, because this is the brother of, you know, the hardest boss in the original game, basically telling you, if you thought my sister was bad, that you have not lived until you've seen what I can do. So you should bend your knee and embrace my curse, just to save yourself. That's the context I'm getting. I could be completely off, but that's what basically I'm getting from this song, is that like this is like a warning to the player. It's like, you ain't seen nothing yet.
When the song fell, I seized it so that no one else could read it. Seized with love, my weapon fearsome, keep it sharp and wield it well. Oh Lord, we are to become one for all, and so shall we.
Oh, I didn't like that. And I'm watching it again because I wanted to make sure I was seeing what I thought I was seeing. Yeah, I don't like that. Is this like, okay, someone explain this to me, because this is messing with me. Like, I don't understand what's going on here at all. Someone please explain this to me. I don't like that either, but at least I understood what that was. Okay, one thing I will say is that it worked the first time when the chorus went through. When he said, embrace my curse. The way he says, embrace my curse, almost sounds like something else is supposed to happen. And like I said, it works well the first time. But with that being the last line of the song, I don't feel like the way it was sung works well the second time, because it still makes me feel like there's more coming, and it doesn't look like there is. Just listen to this. Just listen to this. Like that particular note sounds like something else is going to be coming after it, where I was expecting that to be lower, like a lower octave, because that would make more sense to me, because a lower octave, or maybe even at a higher octave, would have indicated that that's the end. Most likely a lower octave based on the way the song was going. But at that particular level, it just doesn't sound right to me. That doesn't sound like it should have been the final line of the song. That feels like there should have been something else afterwards, like another repeat, and then a lower octave, maybe a lower, shorter octave that ends the song. So that part really sticks with me because it makes me feel like there's supposed to be more and there isn't. And that bothers me. But then again, there is like this like fade out, I guess. Hold on a second. Okay. Interesting. The way that ended made it sound like another song was coming. Am I the only one that thought that? Like, that sounded like the beginning of another song. Is there another song that I need to listen to that matches with the ending of that? I'm pretty sure I've heard his other Elden Ring song, so I don't think it's that. Are we getting another song that's supposed to have that intro there? Interesting. Well, here's the hoping, because that sounded like it was supposed to lead into something else. But yeah, overall, I thought it was really good. It's difficult with JT music songs that are about Elden Ring or SoulBorne songs in general for me to really like say that one is better than the other, because they all do have very similar tones. They all do have very similar like thematics. One of the things that they have that are definitely like indicative of each individual song is they have their own like style. But outside of a couple, such as his Let Me Solo Her song, most of the songs that are created for these sound very like they're all themed in a very similar way. So this reminds me of almost every other SoulBorne or Elden Ring specific song that JT has made, minus the Let Me Solo Her song. And even then, that has some elements to it that I could see fit in with the rest of them. It just happens to be a lot more playful and a little bit more upbeat. So it's a good song. I really like it. It's definitely not the best that I've heard from JT Music, but I love JT Music's Elden Ring song, so this is definitely going into my Elden Ring playlist for sure, or my SoulBorne playlist. So yeah, I definitely liked it. I was kind of hoping for something more though, especially with the way that ended, and especially with the way that that end card happened. So I guess we'll have to find out to see if there's going to be something else on the horizon. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you for joining me. This was Archive of 12. This is almost this is over 18 minutes. Holy crap. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.